The ICON Master Puller Set from Harbor Freight. Would you buy it? If you're not aware, Harbor Freight now has a professional line of tools that they call the ICON series, at least on the hand tool side. And this is the ICON 22-piece Master Puller Set. Let's dive in and take a closer look at this, and then we'll come back and talk about pricing and warranty. This is the ICON Long Jaw Master Puller Set. The model number is the LJP-22, and this comes straight from Harbor Freight. Lifetime warranty on these ICON hand tools. Now let's take a look at this kit and see what we think about it. So it comes in a nice blow molded case. If you want to keep it in the case, you can. Open it up. You got metal latches, and everything kind of fits in its place. Now the cool thing about this case is you can keep it encased as you see it, but if you want to put it in your toolbox without having to remove everything, you can easily, just by hand, pull these pins, remove the lid, and then you can just take these latches, pull those off, and now set those in your favorite drawer of your toolbox that of course will hold those, and you're good to go. So now you still have a place for everything, but you don't have to worry about the lid and the thickness of the lid or the latches flopping around. So there you have it. Like the fact that, again, it's kind of a modular storage solution, and of course if you just want to throw it all in a drawer by themselves, you can do that too. So 22-piece set, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. We're short a piece. Who knows? I'm sure they're probably calling that a piece, so whatever. 22-piece set, we'll live with it. We're happy with it. We're not going to hold them to whether or not, maybe the case is 1. Who knows? Again, so we get a 22-piece set. It's supposed to be 10 different configurations. However, on that, I believe that many people don't know how to use this properly. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate mail and hate comments over that, but it just is what it is. I'm sure people are going to grab this thing, throw one of these on here, throw a couple of jaws on, and go to the races and call it that, and that's just not the proper way to do it. So let's talk about that. Let's go over these different configurations and how to use this kit. First thing out of the gate, before you ever use a 3-jaw puller, 2-jaw puller, any type of puller, there is extreme pressure being applied to this threaded rod here, as well as even on the nuts or the threaded inserts, whatever you want to call those, that ride along here. So again, with extreme pressure being put on there, this needs to be greased before the first use, and I'm going to say before every use. I know nobody's going to do that, but at least every couple of uses, you want to put some high pressure grease on this of some sort that's going to do you a couple of favors. It's going to, number one, give you a longer tool life, as well. It's just going to make things work easier. And you may have to do this a couple of times, especially as your initial use. These things aren't greased up, and therefore you probably want to wear gloves when you do this as well. So and I'm sure I can speed this up. You don't have to watch us lube up this threaded rod, but I think you get it. If this isn't lubed, you're going to gall the threads. If not the first use, at some point you're going to throw your favorite high torque impact wrench on here, and you're going to go to the races with this thing, and next thing you know, you're ruining threads and ruining your new puller set. And you're going to take it back to Harbor Freight and say, I need a new one, and they're going to say, yeah, but you messed up the threads. No go. Anyway, I don't know what they're going to tell you, but you get it. Lube up the threads. Okay, there's one. We've got those threads lubed up, at least for this time. Pretty cool here. Detent balls on each end of the handle here, because again, you can use this by hand, but most likely you're going to pull that out, put your favorite wrench or impact wrench on that nut right there, and go to the races driving it with a power tool. And then if you want to put the handle back in, just slide it in. Love the use of those detents on there to make that very easy. Now you'll notice here we have 3 different size jaws. We have the short jaws, the medium jaws, and the large jaws. If you look at how much pressure can be applied to these, this is 4.5 tons, this is 6.5 tons, and these are 8-ton jaws. So the large ones are built to maintain or to handle 8 tons of pull on there. So obviously, so are the different accessories. So let's go over how we use these. So if we have let's just look at a short jaw, 2-jaw scenario. So we're not just going to grab these jaws and hook up the pins or screws or bolts or whatever and go to town. That's not how this works. Number one, this knurling here on this, that's going to go on the top. That's going to be the first thing to go on. And the next thing to go on will be the ICON 2-jaw block. And again, I can already tell that that's drying out because none of these are lubed up. So I'm going to apply a little more lube behind that one and thread that back on. Okay. So now we're going to take, and depending on whether we're going to do an inside pull or an outside pull, we've got short detent pins and we've got long detent pins. Now all of these are going to be used, well, 2 of each on a short jaw, 2-jaw pull. And the long ones are going to go on this thicker area. The cool thing about it, we don't have to thread anything. We just push them through and they're in place. And then the shorter jaw is going to go on the thinner arm. So pretty hard to mess up here, as long as you kind of got an idea of how they're supposed to work. And line up the hole, push it through, and now we have our puller set up. Now the cool thing about this is not only is it going to do the pulling, but our knurled handle here is going to set the pressure on applying against on an inside pull toward the outside or an outside pull toward the inside, and kind of lock these on here. So no longer do I have to sit here and hold these in place or spread them apart or anything like that, because with the turning of this knurled handle here, you'll see as I back it away, it's pulling it closer, and as I tighten up, it's pulling those jaws apart, again setting pressure against whatever we're pulling on, so that I don't have to hold those in place or put some type of spreader in there to do that. And then all I've got to concentrate on once I get that set in place and that pulled tight is now I can use my handle here to crank this down. And once you're holding both of them, it's going to apply the pulling force where it's actually pulling that off. Now the other thing I add here is right here on the snout. If we don't want the blunt snout right here or the hollow right here, again, a detent ball just pushes right into place. And so now we have our coned or our pointed shaft to go into the center point of a, like a countersink of a crankshaft or something like that. Or if we wanted to just go against the bolt, again, we can use the blunt end there. So again, love all these detents and pins that make life easy. And now when I'm done, I can easily just push these pins out. Or if I wanted to set things closer, could put the pins on the inside. And have an even closer proximity of these jaws. So we got some flexibility there, but then to take things apart, easily pull these out, pull the arms out with no pressure on them, put things away, and we're good to go for the next time. Everything has its place. And even if I wanted to go to even a large jaw pull, and let's say pulling to the inside, again, large pins on the bottom area, large pins on the top. So it's a pretty broad pull. We can adjust the jaws where we need them, set the spread, and then go to town. So we get it. Short, medium, long, doesn't matter. Easily hook up to the two jaws. And then again, everything has its place to be put away. Quicken things up, take my 7/8 inch socket. Let me go ahead and lube up the rest of this. All right, so that's it with the 2-jaw. 3-jaw, kind of rinse and repeat, right? Again, we want to make sure it's good and lubed up. And again, make sure that our knurled, basically this is kind of our handle, is up closest to the nut end or closest to where your hands will be. We'll go to our medium rods here. And then go to our 3-jaw solid puller. We'll put our long pins in. Long pins go in the solid. Long pins go in the solid piece, and the short pins then go on. Pretty self-explanatory, but I see tons of people that misuse these all the time, either because they're lazy or they really never understood how these work. And again, you want to hold this and turn this one to adjust your pretension on your jaws. And you can see as I'm tightening down, getting them closer, that's bringing those jaws together on an inside pull. So maybe we're pulling a harmonic balancer or something like that. And then once we get the pretension set, then we can come in and you hold the whole housing and drive this, and then that's what it's going to actually do the pulling and remove whatever it is you're pulling off. And again, we can put in our center pin to make sure that we're centering, or pull it off if we don't need it. So pretty cool system. Very solidly built. Very impressed with this. Love how everything tucks away in its own little compartment. Everything's cleaned up and ready to go. Now it's ready for you the next time you use it. One of the huge perks of this set is definitely the ease of use. We love the actual detent push pins on all the different pivoting locations, so it makes it very easy and quick to make these changes, to assemble it, to disassemble it, and put everything back in its place. We also love the case and the ability to, again, store things in their place, whether it be the centering pin to push on here and pull out, again, detent, or any of the, changing from 2-jaw to 3-jaw, and from, small to medium to large, you name it, very easy and quick to actually assemble and disassemble this kit. So we love that. Now, pricing on this is usually somewhere around that $300 range. I think it's usually $269, $289, something like that. But I just noticed in doing some research before we did this review, right now this is on sale for $199. I'm sure that won't last a whole long time, maybe a week or two, but I would say that's a great buy for this kit, because if you look at the tool, truck prices on a kit like this, on a 22-piece kit, you're probably going to be in the $600, $800, $1,000 range for something that's going to be like this. And the ICON series on this is a lifetime warranty on it. So anything happens, take it back to Harbor Freight and they're going to replace it for you. So really hard to beat that. It's made very well. And again, the ease of use is just really up there with some of the best brands. So check it out for yourself. We'll have a link in the description. Also, keep track of us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and even TikTok. And if you don't mind, would you hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done so already? And by all means, did you hate our video? Well, then give us a thumbs down. But would you let us know in the comments why? Have a great day and keep smiling.